My name is Ayman Harper, and I'm here staging the Forsythe production that's happening at the Harris Theater in the fall. The team is made up of Mario Zambrano, who's also an ex-Hubbard Street dancer, Sergio Baldi, and Amancio Gonzalez. They're here, they're responsible for N.N.N.N, which they are two of the original cast members out of the four. And then myself, sort of overseeing One Flat Thing reproduced, which is a very complicated monster.
To come back to my family first dance company to teach a piece of William Forsythe that they're going to perform, of course I said yes, and that's how I'm here now.
One Flat Thing reproduced was inspired by the Robert Scott expeditions, and I think particularly the question of if it was a failure or if it was a success. The approach to the work should also be considered as life or death, like the decision I make right now, where I place my hands right now. It was only ever supposed to be right there.
The 15 years that I was a dancer, no other piece is created in this way. Lots of times a choreographer will come and there are phrases of music, you count through them, and then the choreography is set to the counts. But this, the machinery of and I say machinery because the choreography is dependent on the movement language that is happening simultaneously. And so if a dancer has a particular movement, he does a rond de jambe, or he rotates its arm in, that rotation might be the cue of another movement phrase to someone who's waiting for that movement to begin his movement, which might begin a quartet, which might begin a duet.
You have these obstacles, these tables, which are just obstacles. They can just represent, any sort of challenge. But you learn how to work with them. You learn how to relate to them, and that is also a large part of that.
But with Bill's work, or William Forsythe's work, I find that it's exciting because you're smarter than you thought you were.
The dancer can take a real proactive stance in the learning of the material. So here, we're giving a lot of feedback, but it's going to be more about how they approach the movement and the quality that they have.
We've been working with the dancers for the last 2 days. And of course they get it because they're very intelligent. Dancers are very intelligent, but it's training that you have to kind of open that mind. Not the mind that's in your brain, but the mind that's in the body. Of just being soft in the muscle so that it can receive information.
During the rehearsals of N.N.N.N, we were always creating our own soundscape the whole time. Every movement had a sound. And that sound you chose by the density of a movement, or if something was, I had a flick, what would be like a flick sound. Bill used to say that you should perceive yourself as a conductor as well as part of the orchestra. The sense of abandonment and vulnerability, and it's transcendent. Yeah. That Hubbard Street is going to do N.N.N.N, which is a relatively newer work. I think it's really exciting. And then One Flat Thing reproduced is just, it's exciting. It's emergency, it's urgent, it's full on 100%. Overall, you're going to be exhausted in a good way at the end of the evening.